Alright folks, buckle up because we're about to take a ride through the automotive world's Hall of Shame. We're talking about cars that'll make you scratch your head and wonder, what were they thinking? From weird designs to questionable decisions, these vehicles missed the mark in spectacular fashion. So, grab your popcorn and prepare for a lighthearted journey through the top 10 cars that should have never existed. Let's hit the road. Number 10. Kota EV. In the realm of electric vehicles, the mighty Tesla Model S reigns as the undisputed champion. Sadly, the same cannot be said for the ill-fated Kota EV. Back in 2012, when electric cars were starting to make an entrance, Kota Automotive decided to jump into the race. But their attempt was nothing short of a total flop. Despite hitting the market with high hopes, the Kota EV absolutely bombed at the market, selling only an embarrassing 117 units before the company had to throw in the towel and file for bankruptcy. But there are many things that were wrong with the car. For one, its design was adapted from a Chinese car unveiled nearly a decade earlier and lacked the luxurious or exotic appeal that could have set it apart from the competition. Number 9. BMW 5 Series Gran Turismo. The BMW 5 Series Gran Turismo, the car that disappointed fans, car enthusiasts, and critics alike. It was as if a crossover and a hatchback had a baby, but nobody really knew what to make of it. The whole idea was to give you more interior space than the standard 5 Series, which sounds great on paper, but in reality, it fell a bit flat. The problem was mostly its design. It was bulky and awkward. It left people wondering why BMW didn't just go with a good old-fashioned 5 Series wagon. Cause who doesn't love a sleek and stylish wagon, right? Sure, the Gran Turismo had its fair share of fans who appreciated the extra room inside, but let's face it, it didn't exactly win over the masses. It was a bit of an acquired taste, and it seemed like BMW missed the mark with this one. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Keep watching for the top 3 worst cars ever made. Number 8. Pontiac Aztec. Let's dive into the notorious Pontiac Aztec, most famous as one of the ugliest cars ever produced. Its odd double hood, weird small 3-spoke wheels, plastic paneling, and flamboyant interior all contributed to its sad appearance. But even with its awkward looks, the Aztec left a lasting impact on the crossover market and design. It was General Motors' first attempt at creating a versatile vehicle that could conquer both city roads and off-road adventures. And believe it or not, modern crossovers still take cues from Aztec styling. Number 7. Vaz 2101. This one, known as the Lada Riva or Ziguli, has quite the reputation as one of the weirdest cars ever to exist. For starters, the Ziguli wasn't exactly known for its jaw-dropping looks. Its design was too Soviet-like for the American taste. The boxy shape, the simple lines, and the overall lack of flair didn't exactly scream cool car. It was more like a practical, no-nonsense kind of ride. But that wasn't all. The Ziguli was seriously underpowered. It felt like the little engine was working overtime just to get you up to speed, and some customers even complained about vibration under the hood. The interior was basic, to put it kindly. Plastic everywhere, uncomfortable seats, and let's not forget about the lovely Soviet-era electrical system. It was a bit of a hit-or-miss situation, and most of the time, it was a miss. Number 6. Chrysler PT Cruiser Convertible. This is the famous Chrysler PT Cruiser Convertible, a car that attempted a retro vibe but unfortunately missed the mark in every way. When Chrysler decided to chop off the roof, it ended up compromising the structural integrity of the vehicle. To compensate for that, the engineers added a roll hoop, but let's just say it wasn't the prettiest addition. The front end of the PT Cruiser Convertible took inspiration from the Plymouth Prowler, but it didn't quite capture the same poise. Instead, it came across as all types of awkward, with hard plastics that further contributed to its lackluster appearance. It just wasn't the kind of convertible you'd want to be seen cruising around in. Number 5. The Plymouth Prowler. Speaking of the Plymouth Prowler, whose design won over no one. The front end had a V-shaped look and the back had extended bumpers, giving it a unique appearance that reminded some people of cartoon cars, to say the least. The body panels were made of aluminum, which made it look like a squished soda can. People weren't too happy with its horsepower either, as it only had a V6 engine with 214 horsepower, which was seen as underwhelming for a sports car. Number 4. Yugo GV. This confusing car was produced in communist-led Yugoslavia and made its way to the American markets at extremely discounted rates for the common people. But you know what they say about getting what you pay for. Here's the deal. The Yugo GV had a basic interior. Comfort wasn't its strong suit. In fact, you had to pay extra just to get carpeting under your feet. Talk about cutting corners. It seems that the main focus of the Yugo GV was simply getting you from point A to point B without any frills. When it comes to performance, Yugo GV wasn't exactly a speedster either. The engine was modest at best and gave you a sluggish experience. But it gets worse. The Yugo GV had a reputation for being unreliable. Breakdowns were a common occurrence, leaving owners frustrated and stranded. And let's not forget the exterior. To say it the least, the design lacked all excitement. If anything, it looked like a tank. Number 3. 2006 Jeep Commander. This car is a Commander only in its name. This model had not 1, not 2, but 6 recalls. Yep, you heard that right. According to Consumer Reports, the NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, issued recall notices for various concerns including electrical systems, powertrain, suspension, brakes, and seatbelts. If you dig a little deeper, you'll find that there have been a whopping 1,766 complaints lodged with the NHTSA about this model. People reported issues ranging from engine and cooling problems to fuel system malfunctions, faulty equipment, steering troubles, and even erratic stability control systems. Safety concerns were raised, with reports of unexpected vehicle shutdowns and cruise control that seemed to have a mind of its own. Talk about comfort. But what about its reliability? Well, the 2006 Commander doesn't exactly shine in that department either. One of the main issues was a recall related to an ABS problem. Drivers experienced braking delays even when the pedal was fully pressed. Not exactly what you want when you're trying to stop your car. Number 2. 2012 Jeep Wrangler. If the previous car shocked you, wait till you hear this. The 2012 Wrangler has been through nearly 60 recalls since 2007. 60. From fit and finish problems to engine troubles, loose bolts, transmission glitches, wonky steering, and a shifter that just didn't want to cooperate. This Wrangler has seen it all. On top of that, the 2012 Jeep Wrangler had a notorious problem with intense vibrations in the steering, especially when cruising over bumpy roads. This issue, often blamed on the solid front axle design that the Wrangler is known for, became a common complaint among Wrangler owners. It doesn't surprise us that Consumer Reports and J.D. Power have called it one of the least reliable vehicles ever. Number 1. Reva Gwiz. You might remember this car from the Grand Tour, where it made an explosive appearance in a game of Battleship. But beyond that, this car was an absolute disaster. First off, let's address the elephant in the room, that ugly appearance. The Reva Gwiz was far from being a head-turner. In fact, it was downright ugly. The minuscule electric car hit the market in 2001, and let's just say it looked like a shrunken, awkward box on wheels. But looks aside, the Gwiz had some serious issues. One major problem was its lack of space. Although it was supposedly designed to hold 4 people, even driving solo felt cramped and uncomfortable. It's not exactly the kind of ride you'd want for a road trip with friends. But none of that even came close to the most serious problem with this car: the lack of control at higher speeds. That's right, once this car reached around 50 miles per hour, it became a real nightmare to handle. It would start moving out of control, creating a seriously dangerous situation on the road. It's no wonder this car is remembered as one of the worst cars that should have never existed, if not the worst. And there you have it, the 10 cars that should have never existed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our future content. We will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.